Yeah, I wasn't worried about topics this week because I know you have a massive topic that you're going to want to talk a lot about.
What?
The fact that D&D Beyond, yeah, that thing with them,
What happened with them?
they got bought by D&D.
I haven't heard anything about that at all.
Yeah, you have. You're the one who told me.
I. Who are you?
I don't know. Who are you?
I'm Grumpy Dungeon Master Christopher.
Oh shit, I'm in the wrong podcast.
Bye.
No, I am the Grumpy Dungeon Master Jay. I am, in fact, at the right podcast.
And I do know what you're talking about. Honestly, it doesn't mean anything to me yet.
Really, I honest to God expected this to be the only thing you talked about.
No, it honestly. So fandom owns owned D&D Beyond. They also own if you go out to a video game website and you find the wiki, more than likely that wiki is run by fandom. Okay, where they support the background infrastructure for all those wikis. So the
Okay,
D&D wiki is
hold
run by
on.
fandom.
So fandom is actually a company and not just like the fandom of D&D.
Correct. It's actually a company. They also own they're the parent company of College Humor and a few other online media shows.
Okay.
And in the Wall Street Journal article talking about the purchase of D&D Beyond by Wizards, it mentioned that fandom was looking more to break into that side of the internet world and get away from the outside application development stuff. D&D Beyond was really the only thing that they had, and it just wasn't something that they seemed like they cared about anymore.
Got it.
So
Wasn't in their
that's why,
wheelhouse. They were just
yeah,
doing it for God knows what reason.
yeah. I think D&D was which project they started that they could do, that they could host, they could hire a team to do it, and it worked, and it was successful, and they just sold it off. So good for them.
I mean, they got $146.3 million, so you can do a lot of other stuff with
Cash,
that much money. Yeah.
cash.
Yep.
How does WotC have that much cash?
Because it's Hasbro.
No, they split Hasbro and WotC into two separate companies.
Because it's WotC. Have you seen Magic the Gathering? Do you know how much money that fucking thing makes?
I know that Streets of Capernia is gonna make some money, but
Streets of
I'm
Capernia
pretty
is going to be it's going to be another death of the game. I've already found multiple just very very busted cards.
just like how the current set is the death of the game because there's busted cards.
It it's not good for tournaments. It really is not.
Hmm.
But anyway,
Yeah.
this
Anyway,
is
this is
not this is not
D&D.
it's not a Magic the Gathering podcast unless it's D&D specific. So
So I do want to have a Streets of Capernia setting in D&D though.
pretty sure they already have towns like that in Forgotten Realms. Like I don't know
No,
much.
I want.
I don't know much about it, but it looked like just a bunch of gangsters.
Yeah, it's like 1920s gangsters.
Yeah, I'm like I really hate this set beyond belief.
And well, everybody else loves it, just like Cyberpunk Kamigawa.
Yeah, I hated it, and I honestly, I personally, I don't know anyone who liked it other than you. But
Well, me and everyone's buying the box set for like twice the price.
yeah, but that's because they just think they're going to make money on it. Oh, these cards are worth so much money, and for now, that might be the case. There are definitely some that are worth a lot of money.
So what I decided to do this weekend is double down in my miniature collections holding.
Oh, okay.
So Shelly was starting a new game. We're playing like a one shot game today where we just finished playing it actually, and Shelly needed a new miniature for her game. So we stopped by Zynergy-gamers.com. Use code Grumpy for 5% off,
Yep, gotta get that
and
plug in there.
we started buying the Wild Beyond the Witchlight miniature boxes, looking for a common fairy miniature. Now, commons, there's always like 3 commons or like 2 commons and a rare, or 2 commons and an uncommon, and then there's always like a rare.
Okay.
So a lot of like Magic the Gathering packs where
Yeah.
there's a set amount. So this is a common fairy. Well, we get to the store, and I was like, initially I told her, I was like, yeah, just pull some boxes down, open them until you get the one you want, and then pay for all the boxes you open. So she's like, I don't want to do it by myself. So we all go to the store. I pulled down like 4 boxes that she picked out, and she opens them. Nothing. Oh, a lot of really cool minis, but not the ones she wanted.
Yeah.
She pulls down like 4 more, and nothing. So that's a brick. Eight packages is a brick. Normally stores
How many commons are in the set?
not a ton.
Because
I'd
that
have
would have been
to.
the first thing I would have looked at. You know, if I'm needing a specific card, well, how many of what are the odds I'm going to pull that thing? You know, how much money am I going to spend to do it?
Well, the thing is like you can't just go buy a single. You know, um,
There's a market for that. They
there
should
is,
do that.
but there's nothing local.
I'm just saying, stores should do that. They should, open up some bricks and just sell the singles.
Like almost 15, and then uncommons like 20, and
Oh,
then
15's not
rares is
too.
like
Yeah,
another
15's
20.
not too bad. That you should be able to pull that within a brick, you would think, or maybe a little more. But
Right. So we go through the brick, and we get like 2 quicklings, 2 mushroom things, and a bunch of other commons, 2 red caps. Nothing great. We didn't get it. So I asked the store employee to pick a box. I asked the store owner to pick a box, and then he gave me the box, which is nice. And we still didn't get it. And I was like, well, there's 4 boxes left. What's the harm in buying 4
might as
more?
well just finish the whole thing, get them all.
Right. So that's what we did. And after the 11th box that we opened, we got the one common miniature that we wanted, which was this little barbarian fairy
Yeah,
sprite.
that's just weird. A barbarian fairy.
And on the last box, we got a uncommon pixie, which was the other one Shelly wanted. That would have worked.
Okay.
So yeah, we pretty much got the entire set. And all things considered, when the store gets it, they get 2 bricks. Okay, so they have 16 boxes.
Right. So
I bought a
you bought
box.
almost all of that. Yeah.
So I bought 12 at the store yesterday. I was given one, so that's 13. Okay, I'm pretty sure I bought a Wild Beyond the. I usually buy them in 2. So I bought 2 more Wild Beyond the Witchlight boxes at one point in time. One of which contained a Jabberwocky.
Mhm.
Okay, so I bought 15 to 16 boxes of Wild Beyond the Witchlight from the store. So, heck of a purchase.
Now you
But we
have
did.
all. Yeah, you'll have plenty of minis now.
What's really cool about it though is like the end boss for Witchlight is like this coven of hags,
Ooh.
and they each have a mount. Okay,
Alright.
and then each one of the hags are like you can detach them and move them around. So we got a rocking horse, which the saddle comes out of the rocking horse, and then Scabatha Nightshade, she like splits in 2 pieces, and you could put her and a different base into the rocking horse, so she's on the rocking horse. And then one of the other hags rides an ornithopter, a giant bird, and the other one rides on a lily pad. So it's really kind of cool how they all like mix together and stuff like that.
I'm going to guess this rocking horse and lily pad can just sort of fly. Because rocking horses, I'm not sure if you're familiar with what a rocking horse is, but they don't actually have momentum. They don't go anywhere unless you like really get into it. Then you can slowly slide them across the carpet.
I have never been on a rocking horse. I've always been too big.
I can't say I've ever been on one either, but yeah, I've seen kids on rocking horses before, and they don't really it's not really good transportation. I'm certain a lily pad is not good transportation.
Well, it's a large lily pad.
Oh, okay, so I guess really a really big one might work.
We also got 2 large snails, or giant snails, 2 unicorns. I got a Fomorian again. And I got a troll. The troll's pretty cool. It's like a very skinny, lanky troll. All the trolls I have are big and muscular.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's got like it's got its log that it swings, and the log has mushrooms growing on it. So it's kind of cool. It's a really
that's
nice
gotta
painted
be yeah.
miniature.
Yeah, like trolls are supposed to be like long and lanky. They're not supposed to be muscular whatsoever.
We didn't get Thimblestrom what's her face from the Magic the Gathering set, so that's great. I'm happy to never get her ever.
I don't even know who. The planeswalker that you hate.
Yeah, a planeswalker that I hate.
I'm gonna buy you one and just mail it to you.
That's fine. You can spend the $35 on it then.
Nah, I'll find one cheaper.
So yeah, we went through 11 boxes to find the last one. There was only one left in the store. We were just like, yeah, buy it.
Yeah,
And we did.
you can't leave just one. It's like
Can't leave
Pringles,
just one.
know.
So that was neat. It was a lot of fun. And then that was because I was running a game today for my wife and another player from Adventures League, because both of them together have become fast friends, and they wanted to DM a game for women's only at the store. So I kind of ran them through the first adventure and said, "You guys run through this adventure as well too. You've already ran through it once with me as a DM. I'll tell you what I changed and what I didn't change, and what you should look out for, and have fun with it, and just think back as to what I did, what you liked and didn't like, and change it and make it better." So the beginning adventure is from the Eyes Unclouded DM's Guild publication. It's all like Miyazaki adventures, and the first one is the first one's called like the Cinderling Herdling, or the Herding of the Cinderlings, or something like that, where you got to basically take a bunch of soot sprites from a dilapidated house to an abandoned mansion. Okay, and along the way, you got to keep them in line and not running off and like chasing butterflies and shit. And then like there's a wild animal that attacks. There's a bridge troll you got to get by. There's a rainstorm you got to get through, and a couple other random things that could happen. And at the very end, there's a bunch of smoke mephits that you have to fight. So they call them ash mephits. So
I'd have to see the stats, but
it says as you smoke mephit stats.
Okay.
Instead of smoke, they're ash.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Whatever.
Maybe it's more Miyazaki-esque. I don't know.
Well, that's what the soot sprites are. They're just little balls of ash.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going through that and we're playing, and they're doing a great job. The role playing. We get into combat. They're level 1, so of course the constricting snake takes player down immediately because it does 1d8 damage plus something, and everyone has 9 hit points. So there goes the one guy, but no one's dying. And I had always planned on adding one of the Cinderlings, one of the little soot sprites, that he could just lick somebody and give them a hit point, just in case. Yeah.
That way nobody's really gonna die.
Right. And so I did that, and they got to the troll, and the troll's like, you have to pay him 25 gold to pass, or you answer a riddle, or you beat him up. One of those 3. And so what they did is they go to pay, and they pay for one person, and he's like, okay, you can go across, no one else can. And they're like, oh, crap, we didn't talk to him and find out how much it is per person,
Yeah.
And he's just he's a troll, so he's being a troll. And they decide to take the physical challenge.
Oh no.
Oh no, yeah. They have stats for a young troll, which is like a troll, but it's still like CR3.
Yeah,
all right.
It's still a troll, man.
Still a troll. And I was like, okay, well, they got fire. They got a lot of ranged. They'll be okay. I hope.
3 dead bodies later.
No, actually, what they did was very creative. Because he was standing on a bridge, the wizard greased the bridge. The troll failed.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they actually have pretty good dex scores, but yeah.
-1. This one had -1.
Okay, normally trolls actually have, I think, a 14 or 15. Like, they've got pretty good dex, but
this one had an 8 dex and had an 18 strength. So it failed the dex save and fell prone. And then my wife, because she's playing this like little fairy barbarian, flies over and pushes him. Well, I figured since you're on a pile of grease that you would have disadvantage on your dexterity save or athletic save on being pushed. So I gave him disadvantage. And he rolled a 1. She rolled like a 23. So
all right. Good shove.
I increased that shove from 5 feet to 10 feet right off the bridge.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, he failed.
Yeah, I
miserably.
mean, honestly, you're dealing with first level characters. That's a creative way to handle that whole situation.
Yep. And then he's in the raging river being pulled downstream, and he could not, for the life of him, grab a hold of a rock and pull himself out. He had 3 attempts. I don't think I rolled better than a 3.
Uh,
So
yeah.
at very least, you would need a 10. At very least. And this is a
So
raging stream, so it's more like a 16 or an 18.
see, I
And
probably
he's
would.
just like,
I would have just tried to swindle the troll. Sure, they stand on bridges and collect money or whatever, but you're still a troll. You're too stupid to know how to count.
listen, we tried that in our Divinity game on Mondays and Tuesdays, and it didn't work. The troll outswindled us. So we had to kill them both.
Yeah, and they both died for it. They're not very good
Yeah.
swindlers.
Nope.
No, seriously though, like a troll, they're not generally that bright. Just try to swindle them. Hand them like 3 gold pieces or something instead. And say that's 25, and when they start counting it back to you, you just count differently. Mess them up. They're like 1, and you're like 11, 2, 24, 3, 25. See, 25 gold. It works.
Have you seen the Abbott and Costello skit where they're paying off their landlord's rent? And they're like,
I am sure I have, but it would have been a long time ago.
just Google Abbott and Costello paying rent or paying off the landlord. He's got to give him like $27 or something like that for 3 months rent, but he's like, no, you owe me $7 for this, and the way he counts up and does the math wrong is great.
Yeah, it's like Smokey from Friday. I don't know if
Yeah.
where he's
No.
counting out Big Worm's money, and then he gets to 100, and then he just flips it over and starts counting the other side of it like it's a different bill.
So they get past the troll, they get past the rainstorm, they get to the end where the smoke mephits are, and they start the encounter with the smoke mephits. They didn't see them; they got surprise attacked, and the smoke mephits were, like I said, they were ash mephits in the book. So when I was looking at the stats, I said they were immune to fire, and I was like, well, if they're ash, then if they get hit by fire, they would turn to fire mephits, right? Right. So that's where my brain went, and that's what I did.
I don't know if that's
Shut up.
right.
Shut up. Shut up. That's what happened. So they fire bolted one of the ash mephits, and he became a fire mephit. I was like, cool, now they're ice mephits. And only then, when they killed the first fire mephit, did I realize them exploding for 2d4 damage in a small room.
Yeah, it's gonna
At
kill
level
everybody.
1. Kills everybody.
Yep.
So what happened was the barbarian went down first after they killed one smoke mephit. Then they killed one fire mephit. It exploded and took out the barbarian. And then they killed another fire mephit, and it exploded and killed the Haragon. And reset the failures for the barbarian who had been stabilized. And then the remaining fire mephit, because it was caught in the fire explosion, thus also becoming a fire mephit, was attacking the tutorial guy and beat him. And I TPK'd this in a introductory to how to DM. I TPK'd a level 1 group again, but I had to save because I still had the Cinderling that could lick people for 1 hit point. So that's all it did, is it just rolled into the room and licked people, and they all got up for 1 hit point, and they beat the last one mephit.
This is the most grumpy dungeon master Christopher story I think you've ever told.
So on one hand, if it was just the smoke / ash mephits, they would have easily won, because when they explode, they just blind you. But on the other hand, because I was like, oh, I'm going to be creative and fun and turn them into fire mephits, and they exploded and killed everybody, I had to save them, which is no fault of their own.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, you didn't follow the rules, as it were, so it is also up to you to give them an out.
Yes. And that's what I told the players. So, like, the fire mephits weren't in the book, and I explained my reasoning. I thought it'd be cool, and it wasn't cool. But, like, from the player perspective, I still don't think they knew.
Yeah.
They're just like, they hit the thing and it explodes. Like, oh, we better watch out for that. They just do it again. They're like, oh shit, we forgot. So it was a lot of fun doing that. And
good job on wiping out a group of first levels as an introduction to D&D.
Thank you. I am well known for my TPKs.
At this point, yes, you are. I have
I
yet to
know.
TPK any party since I've started doing this podcast, at least.
Then you are not trying hard enough.
It's hard to kill people in 5th edition, man.
It is not hard to kill people in 5th edition. Just send them against an ancient white dragon.
Yeah, it's hard to kill them unless you're, just trying to kill them. As a DM, you always have that option. Like, truthfully, as a DM, it's very easy to just wipe a party. You could just send them against an ancient white dragon on a ship, that's frozen, and things like that sometimes happen.
I did find out too that there is a collector's edition release of the Witchlight miniatures as well.
Oh no!
Which is every single Witchlight miniature except for the Valors and League of Malevolence starter sets. But the collector's edition comes with an Igoliv Old Hag and a Tasha Young Hot Girl variant.
Right.
So really cool, but they only come in that one collector set, which the collector set is every single mini, well, except the 2 starter sets. So one copy of each of those, and there's a lot of minis, but it's like $750.
Okay,
52 miniatures.
So it's a whole set. It's not a box. It's not like a brick of this collector set where you're just trying to pull the right stuff.
Correct. So you get the premium set. You get one of every other creature, and then you get the hot air balloon, and then the 2 special Tashas.
I'm looking this up right now.
It's crazy. I do like the League of Malevolence starter set. I did pick that up. It's kind of cool. I haven't seen the Valor's Call set for sale though.
You said they're all. Yeah, like I'm looking at them right now on eBay. They're like $45.
Yeah. So when are you going to TPK your group?
Probably. Well, I hopefully never. I'm trying to tell a story here.
Your story can end in a TPK and still keep going.
No, it really can't. If I
Yes,
TPK the whole party, they're all dead. New campaign. That's how that's supposed to go usually.
No. Their bodies are found by a group of young adventurers who.
Actually, I do have an out for something like that I was thinking about, and so I was actually thinking about this on a whole different spectrum. And now that you've mentioned it, I was like, yeah, that might work. So something that D&D used to do a lot in the very early editions that I don't ever hear anyone talking about nowadays is hirelings. It used to be very common once your character hit a certain level. Actually, it was built into the game. When you hit like 7th level or 8th level, you would automatically gain followers. And one thing that a lot of DMs used to do is if they wanted to take a little break from the primary campaign, they would run a secondary game with those followers. So, if I'm playing Joe Smith, the fighter, and I'm 9th level, and I at that point I get like a 3rd level follower that's a fighter or wizard or whatever they are. So then I, as a DM, could run another game, and they could play Joe Smith's henchman, who's now a 3rd level whatever. So it still ties into the primary campaign. You're just playing other characters that are sort of involved in it.
Yeah.
Who can then run off and do their own things, or your other PCs can give them missions to go and do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, running something like that. If I'm running this campaign at some point, if I decide to give my players give their characters a bunch of followers, they have a couple sort of, but if they get followers, then they could go and play them to rescue their corpses somewhere. If I ever TPK'd them like you do every game.
Not every game.
Okay, every other game. No.
Most games.
Yeah, you kill about one person a game. You don't TPK that often. A couple times a year, it seems.
I are good DM.
I mean, hey, if everybody's having fun, that's all that really matters.
That's the lie. I tell myself.
It's
everybody's
true.
Having fun.
Had a new DM on the DM's resources group. They were. Well, I like reading a lot of the stuff on there. But they're like, hey, I'm going to be running my first one. What module should I run? And my suggestion to them was run any modules for the most part. You're going to be fine. Just keep it levels 1 to 3. Yeah, don't if it's your first DMing time, don't go above third level because then it gets more complicated. First level's really easy. Second and third, it takes time. It takes a little time to build to that point. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't. I had another point to this and I forgot what it was. So whatever.
So Adventure League was good. We had so many people in the store. We had to actually go to like one of the side buildings. There's there's like a church and another salon, whatnot, and we had to go over to one of those buildings and play our game there.
All right, playing D&D in
Sorry,
a church. You're gonna catch on fire doing that.
not anymore. But maybe in the '80s, but not anymore. And we played through there, and I swear to God, man, the luck I have with the stupid random encounter table, just it haunts me to this day. So they went out to go to an encounter that's off in the middle of the tundra. I'm not going to say what, because I
Yeah.
know there's still some people playing it. But I rolled the same random encounter twice in a row, which was they have to go meet the random encounter with the frost giant on the giant gargantuan
Right.
mammoth.
The most horrific random encounter in that book.
Right. More than the ancient white dragon,
Yes, it is.
this
It's
guy.
worse than that. Yes.
And I got it twice. Like I rolled and got it. Oh, okay, cool. And I rolled it again. I'm like, motherfucker, this guy's gonna die.
It
And
it wanted you to run that apparently.
yeah, we will run it. We will run it next week, one because we're gonna do the one thing that they're out there, which is pretty short overall. And I'm pretty sure we can finish it in the session, and then they're gonna fight it on the way out, leaving. Good luck. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys can come out here and play Adventures League. I'm sorry, but you're all dead.
Haha. Yeah, no, I actually had to roll random encounters this weekend too. And the random encounter tables, man. So for anybody who's new to DMing, if you are running random encounters straight from a table, best of luck to you. Because there are encounters on those tables that really should not be on those tables. I'm trying to find a fairly simplistic random encounter because I just want to kill a little time. Mind you, I roll these before the game. That way I can sort of prep ahead of time. And the first damn thing I rolled is like a gold dragon. Like I'm not running a gold dragon as a random encounter. I
Right.
don't I don't even remember what the second one was, but it was something else just as horrendous as that. So I think the third roll was, third or fourth roll was something actually usable that I wrote up stats for. But
Yeah, there was still a couple of random encounters in the Cinderling adventure, but they were like one hawk, or if that's too hard, one raven. Like there was two options for every random encounter: have them fight a spider, or if they're strong, have them fight this constrictor snake. And like there was two options at least, you know.
that's actually better. I like that.
And like even when I write my tables for the thing for the D&D modules, I write, hey, if you want to make them harder, add some Duragar. If you don't, take them away. You know, I give them some way of beefing up or helping
Yeah.
out the thing. You know,
Yeah, the
and
random
it's not just
encounter
like
tables are bad at that. Like it's going to
ancient
be,
white dragon.
yeah, it might be an ancient white dragon and two frost giants. Yeah, a lot of times they will throw in, uh, one thing and then a random 2d6 of this other thing that's with that.
Yeah, but
And
when you roll the 2d6, there are two sixes, and you have 12 of something, your party's dead.
yeah, it overcomplicates things.
I
Yeah,
rolled a random encounter. It was the orc one, where it just had random orcs and plus like an ogre and stuff like that. And like it wanted me to have like 2d4 like 3 or 4 times, and then like plus 1d6 something else. Like that's an insane amount versus a party of level 4s. Like
yep.
Jesus.
Let's see, trying to actually pull these up the tables. Eh,
Random encounter. Introduce your players to a mind flayer. Random encounter. Have your players find a gold dragon sitting on a silver coin hoard, and then question his life choices.
Okay, yeah, I'm not finding the official ones. They're probably on
Random
D&D Beyond.
encounter. 1d1000 skeletal archers.
I hope that's actually one of them. That would be awesome.
Random encounter. 75 kobolds plus 1d74 goblins.
So
Oh,
if you go online and start looking for them, you can actually find some that are pretty decent. This is just a random encounter. So most of the random encounters in I think they're in the DM's guide. Yeah, I think it's in the DM's guide, not the monster manual. But they're very simplistic. They just give you what the things are. And like this is another one I just found very quickly looking online. Random encounter 1d4 plus 1 gnolls are chasing a fox when the PCs run across them. So immediately it's actually giving you a purpose that so you as the DM don't have to think about it. This is something you can run randomly. Because if you pull from the DM's guide ones, you then have to think of a reason. Maybe they were out hunting, maybe they're stalking the players, maybe it is just a random ran across them when chasing a fox. Let's see.
it's fun to have a lot of crazy, like, weird things happen in a game, but oh my god, like, some of these things are just crazy. I got the table here.
Yeah, a goblin is stuck in a pit trap. It has a bag of gold and looks rather tired and sad.
Oh, he's sad.
See, 1d8 plus 2 winged kobolds are in trees or near the ceiling waiting for their simple pit trap to be sprung and then ambush the characters. See, these are good. Now,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
so there's only one table of random encounters in the DMG. All right, and I'll read them all because you're supposed to roll a d12 plus a d8.
Well, no, the random encounters in the DM, I think it was the DM's guide. I could be mistaken. The random encounter, hell, it might have been Xanathar's or one of those. It's because it actually breaks it up by location. Forest, desert, ocean, and it also sort of breaks it down by level ranges, like
Well,
level 7 to 10, shit like
in the
that.
DMG, there's only one table.
Okay, yeah. So I was pulling it from somewhere else.
And this is what they are. You roll a d12 plus a d8, and that's the encounter that you get. So we have, starting off the list from lowest number to highest number, 1 Displacer Beast, 1 Gnoll Pack Lord plus 2d4 Gnolls.
So these aren't even broken up by levels. These are just, this is what you get.
Yeah. 1d4 Gnolls plus 2d4 Hyenas. A grove of burned trees, characters searching the area and succeeding on a DC 10 Wisdom survival check find gnoll tracks. Following the tracks for 1d4 hours leads to an encounter with gnolls or discovery of dead gnolls with elven arrows sticking out of their flea-ridden corpses.
Hey, see, that's a good one. I like that one. That's good.
They don't like gnolls.
Yeah,
1 giant owl. An ivy covered statue of an elven deity or hero. 1 dryad or 1d4 satyrs, 1d4 centaurs, 2d4 scouts, elves. 1 scout carries a horn that can be used as an action to blow on it. If the horn is blown within a forest, roll on this table again.
Yeah.
If the result indicates a monster encounter, the indicated monster or monsters arrive in 1d4 minutes. New arrivals other than gnolls, hyenas, owlbears, and the Displacer Beasts are friendly towards the scouts. 2d4 pixies or 2d4 sprites, 1 owlbear, 1d4 elk or 1 giant elk, 1d4 blink dogs, a magical plant with 2d4 glowing berries. A creature that ingests a berry becomes invisible for 1 hour or until it attacks or casts a spell. Once picked, the berry loses its magic after 12 hours. Berries will grow at midnight, but if all its berries have been picked, the plant becomes non-magical and grows no more berries. An elven tune carried on a gentle breeze. 1d4 orange or blue fairy dragons. 1 druid elf. Dragons. The druid is initially indifferent towards the party, but becomes friendly if the characters agree to get rid of the force of its null infestation. 1 Treant. The Treant is friendly if the party includes one or more elves or is accompanied by a visible fey creature. The Treant is hostile if the characters are carrying any open flames. Otherwise, it is indifferent and doesn't announce its presence as the characters pass by. And the last random encounter is
A lich.
no,
A green dragon.
no,
A black dragon. White dragon. Red dragon. Blue dragon.
unicorn.
Oh, a unicorn. Yeah, see,
Unicorn.
yeah, like those are just the vast majority of them. Oh, it's just a bunch of these things. Yeah, I much prefer these other ones I'm looking at where they actually give you a purpose for what's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of good guides out there for good random encounters.
Yeah, in general, I'm not a fan of random encounters. We had one campaign completely go off the rails because of a random encounter. So the other DM, Johnny, we were playing the pirate campaign. He was running and wanted a random encounter, so he rolled it up and ran with it. And the random encounter was a whirlpool opens up beneath us and transports us to the plane of water.
Yeah. So it is Xanathars that has the really cool encounters table that's random by location.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and divided up by levels. And that goes to prove that I say yet again, Xanathars is probably the best D&D book you should pick up if you want a dungeon master. It really has everything you want.
It has the tables and other stuff that you want.
Yeah.
It actually has the rarities and sort of cost of magic items. It has a lot of tables for how to make magic items. You know, they're still pretty limited. I know Panda's done a much better job as far as his own stuff, his own campaign breaking that stuff down.
Right.
I have my own sort of tables I use for the cost of magic items, but it's still nice that it has that at all because the actual DM's guide does not, which is very disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the primary DM's guide, it's a here's how you DM, and then it doesn't give you enough tables to actually DM anything.
Yeah. There should be a lot of randomness to when you play because you need to break up the monotony, but you got to keep the flow going too in a way too. Like sometimes you just shouldn't run random encounters, but like if you're walking through a forest and like you want to have a couple random encounters, just if you're writing the module, just give them to the player. Like roll on this table of all the things that I thought of that should happen in this forest between A and B, and let the dice decide. Let the dice be the DM for you. It makes things a lot easier, and more than likely, you can have a lot easier encounters that way. They can just plow through. You can just plow through a bunch of just skeletons every other time you fight them. You know,
Yep.
It's easy.
Yeah, most of the random encounters are not all. They're not usually going to be much of a threat to the players unless you roll something like a dragon. But even
Ancient
then,
White Dragon.
yeah, even then, it doesn't have to be a massive threat. It just depends on how you want to run it. Yeah, like a gold dragon is probably not a threat to the players because they generally are lawful good. Or I think they're always lawful good. Although with D&D's currently, who the hell knows anymore?
Just an alignment, man.
Yeah, it's just in alignment, bruh.
This gold dragon's evil.
God, I'm waiting for them to start doing that. I mean, they're making everything else, different alignments. Have they changed demons and devils on
I
alignment?
don't know.
I don't know.
I can check the book. Hey, monsters book. Tell me
Right,
this.
you actually have that, yeah.
I was actually looking through this because I was writing Dread of the Ice Level 2 this week, which is why I wasn't streaming. And they took away the ability for you to attack the Duergar in their hammer or screamer machine.
Oh, all right.
And now they just have a reaction to hit you. If you attack them, they just can reaction hit you now. So they're much more of a threat now.
All right, so now you just have to completely kill the machine, and that handles the dwarves inside of it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see, Devil. There's no section for Devil. Yeah, they're not divided up that way. What is a Devil?
Just look up Batazu.
There's no Bayatsu in here.
Batazu.
There's not in here.
Really?
There's Vanderhob. I like Vanderhobs.
So I'm curious if they have any demons or devils at all in there. What about celestials? Look up Archon or Celestial or what
No.
other ones? Huh. Okay, so they I guess they didn't make any changes to those.
There's Haragon,
Of
Sea
course
Elves,
there is.
Shadar-kai, Shifters, Tabaxi, Alhoon, Armite, Cadaver Collector.
I
Oh, they
mean,
reused the 4th edition art. How cute.
I wonder if they gave Duergar stupid beards that throw stuff now.
Oh, yeah, they all have their flame quills back.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
Yep. So the Demogorgon's still chaotic evil, but it's a Demogorgon.
Okay, well that's something at least.
But Duergar Mind Master could be any alignment. Bullshit.
Yeah, yeah,
They're all ankle biters. All of them.
yeah. They are. Fuck those guys. Bunch of ankle stabbing little assholes.
Gnolls are typically chaotic evil.
But it says. But
And
does it say typically?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
typically. Typically chaotic evil. And a Gnoll Witherling, which is an undead Gnoll, is also typically chaotic evil.
How the hell's that gonna work?
How the hell's that ever going to be good?
Well, it didn't say good. It just said typically chaotic evil. Maybe
Yeah, when you said
maybe
can
it's
be
neutral
good.
evil. Does it
Okay.
does it say it can be good?
No, what does it say it can't be, though, either?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
All right, what about
I
Orcus?
want to play one of those.
So Orcus, a named NPC demon prince, is chaotic evil.
Yeah, that's good. That would be very disappointing if he wasn't.
Phoenix is typically neutral.
That's interesting. But I honestly I didn't know what their alignment was. I always assumed it was a good creature, but
A Shadow Mastiff is typically neutral evil.
all right. Well, we don't need to sit here and read
Shuzuva.
everything. We don't need to read everything's alignment here on the podcast.
Oh, I'm going to. A star spawn mangler, typically chaotic evil. What is a steeder? I need to go through this book and actually read it sometime and actually understand what's in this book.
Yeah, whenever they actually release just it, I will do that. I'll probably do that. Assuming I actually even waste my time buying it, since I already don't like a lot of what they're doing with it. So
You should. Oh, they use the Magic the Gathering art for that.
I still need to go get Mordenkainen's. I never did buy it. The first one, not the other one.
Yeah. Well, you got to get it because it's going out of print.
I don't. I mean, I can still get it. It just because it's out of print. I mean, hell, my stores have it around here. Plenty of copies of it for $50.
$50. So yeah, you do gotta buy those things before they go out of print. If you're buying them off of D&D Beyond, they go out of print in May when Mordenkainen's comes out. So be sure to buy those.
Now that it's owned by WotC, I guess they'll have a lot of control over everything that goes on there.
I hope so, because they got to fix so many things. There's so many things from Tasha's they have yet to add or fix at all. Like all the followers from Tasha's still are not set up. All the spells from Tasha's are not configured correctly.
Really?
I really don't know what the hell's going on. And they keep saying, "Oh, it's being worked." Really?
Maybe they weren't able to do anything with it because they were in negotiations.
No, but they've added all the other books since Tasha came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if they've added others since then, that's ridiculous.
It's just all the rules that Tasha's had to change. They just haven't had a chance to fix for whatever reason.
Huh.
I mean, maybe they downsized for the sale, and they downsized too many of their devs because that's what happened to the social media crew, and replaced them with a bunch of other people who are doing a good job. You know, the person that shows up for dev updates, she's doing a great job. You know, it should be the one guy, but he never shows up. So like this other girl is like regulated to always run the dev show by herself, and she is not a dev, and she's obviously not given any information the devs have. Nor does it sound like she's included with any of the meetings. She's the social media manager. So she's not involved in the dev side of things. But this other guy is, and he's never there. When he is there, it's only when other devs show up for the show. So it's like
How many people run this thing or work
it
there?
should just be that one guy. I'm not sure how many people work at Fandom.
No, I didn't mean fandom. I just meant the.
I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like it's that big of a team, and it feels like they got downsized quite a bit recently.
Most likely. I mean, with a sale, that happens a lot of times. Companies, cut people
Yeah.
whenever they get bought out. So,
Yep. But now
um,
that they own it, the thing that happened too is because they announced the D&D Direct that's happening April 19th, so on Tuesday when this podcast comes out. So sorry if you're listening to this in the morning, we don't have any information or any discussion until the following week.
yep.
Follow our social medias though, because I will make some immediate comments on what I see. There's a trailer that they have up. The first thing that they show is D&D Beyond on a tablet, and then they show like the movie script for the D&D movie, and then they show like a mind flayer. They show a bunch of dice off, and then they show Boo, a stuffed Boo, holding a little D10.
I saw that.
Yeah,
You said that you really wanted that Boo miniature, and I was looking at it, and I just saw this stupid little fuzzy miniature that did not remind me of Boo whatsoever.
what I'm thinking is because the first thing they showed was the D&D Beyond tablet in the commercial. That's everything they're going to talk about in the direct. D&D Beyond being bought by Wizards. They're going to talk about the movie, and then there's a mind flayer. Who knows what that's going to be about? They talk
That
about dice.
Baldur's Gate 3, maybe.
Baldur's Gate 3, maybe. They show a video game controller, so that's definitely Baldur's Gate 3. They show Boo, and Boo's supposed to be on the cover of one of the upcoming books, so they may announce that.
That'd be nice.
So I am looking forward to this D&D Direct that's happening today. Again, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and you'll get our immediate responses as to what we think about things.
And then you'll get my response on the podcast a few days later. My grumpy ass about it.
They're making more books that I don't like.
pretty much.
I don't like this technology they keep using. Stupid kids.
Yep. Hey, look, somebody has to complain about something. Otherwise, we're not particularly grumpy dungeon masters. It's
We're
funny.
grumpy.
Yeah,
I
like
kill everybody.
I'm never grumpy about my own campaign or running the game or anything, but I am absolutely just a pain in the ass every time they release something new.
You're changing things, and that scares me.
I'm old. I don't like change. I want to go back to the way things were in the 90s.
Please no.
No, I'm not. I am not one of those guys. That's the beauty of D&D, man. I can run it however I want.
Everybody gets an attack. Yay.
Yay. So I was running my campaign yesterday, and it's one of the few times where I've had my players actually do things like the hard way, just ignore everything and just run off and sort of do their own thing. And so they had discovered some information that would be useful to one of the local kingdoms, but they don't know any nobles. They don't have any status whatsoever in that kingdom. So they're in the capital city, and one of the players who has proficiency in forgery tools decides, okay, he's just going to forge himself a writ. That way he can get access to the king to talk to him about whatever. And, they actually had legitimate reason to talk to him. So the writ sort of covers that. But you're going to need a seal or a stamp or because he was putting some other noble's name on this. They're not from there. They've never seen any of the writs. They've never seen any of the seals. They don't have a clue what they're working with. So rather than go out and make some investigation checks or try to meet some people and dig into this and find out what some of this stuff might look like, their first option, and this is the first damn thing that comes out of their mouths, was, hey, why don't we just go break into a noble's house and steal one? Like, that's the whole, that's just like taking the fucking nuclear option right immediately. Don't try to do anything easily. Don't try to not get like you risk going to jail. You risk getting killed, etc., etc. Or you could just ask some locals and dig around and start talking to people. Might take a little longer, but a lot less risk involved. Uh, like, is this kind of shit your players do?
Well, right now I am the player, and
Well, I'm just saying, over the course of your years of DMing, how often do your players immediately take the nuclear option? Like it's just walking into a barn, burning it down.
I would say it would depend on the group. And normally the group comes into either a style of kill first and then ask a question or two, or ask a couple questions then kill everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I get that a lot anyway, but that's
No matter what, I would say that in all cases the group always winds up with killing everybody. Whether it's like we got the information, no witnesses, or it's let's kill everybody and then find some information later because the DM's going to give it to us somehow.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I was actually surprised by my players in another, like right before all of that went down, they got into a fight with a bunch of hobgoblins, killed all of them except for one or two of them. Yeah, they questioned a couple of them, killed one of them because that's the whole thing with that weird religion that I'm running in that campaign. But the other one, they actually questioned him, bargained with him to get the information, and then let him go after they got everything. Like normally, my group would just murder all of them after getting what they wanted. I was very confused as a DM.
You're not killing them? Why?
Yeah. I mean, cool. You let him go. I will probably have to bring that NPC back at some point, and they will remember the fact that they were honorable, kept their word. Yeah,
Maybe.
this will be many levels later, but most likely I will do that at some point.
Seems like it would work.
Yeah, I mean, they made an acquaintance, as it were. So now they know somebody somewhere else that they didn't know.
That's the joke of the LARP. Is like, are you guys going to do A, B, or the physical challenge?
It's at the LARP, it's 100% physical challenge.
We're going to take the physical challenge. Are you
Yeah.
sure? Yes.
Yep.
All right. Here's a bunch of 5.5 red-eyed liches. Let's go.
All right. Fuck it. Let's do it.
This sucks, guys.
Why did we do the physical challenge again? Because we're not great thinkers, and it's easier.
What was that one time we were in a name mod? You may not have been there, and we had our crew there, like almost our full crew there, and the girls in our group were running off. They were doing the puzzles because, to be honest, they're the smart ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the smart ones. So they're trying to figure out the puzzle, and then I remember it was me and Kazad who's playing a red cap right now. And we're just like beating through all the monsters, and all the guys are just slaughtering and murdering and mayhem, and we're just pushing further and further ahead, and they're being left further and further behind. And I think a couple of our casters stayed with them, and we and Kazad and all the other fighters finally kill everything in the hallway, and then they solve the puzzle to basically kill everything in the hallway.
That sounds about right.
We're like, I mean, we still accomplished the mission. Just now we're tired.
Yeah, now we have less resources because we had to spend healing and hit points and everything else.
We should stay back here and just let the smart people solve the problem for us.
Yep. So yeah, players in D&D they tend to really enjoy the physical challenge, or just make shit so much harder than it needs to be.
Well, I think it's a lot of time too because for some reason puzzles in D&D at the LARP or wherever just seem to be impossibly difficult to solve at the table.
Yeah.
No matter how simple they are. And I remember seeing an article where a DM was using mazes and riddles out of a children's like K through 3rd grade book. And no one at the table could solve the puzzle at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. At the time the DM is writing them or using them, it all makes sense because the DM has the answer. They have all of the knowledge. But for people on the other side, if you are not practiced in trying to solve riddles, it is not easy. There is a technique to it. We know a couple of people from our LARP who are fantastic at riddles, and it's because they have spent a lot of time learning how to do riddles. I am horrible at riddles because I have never spent any time doing riddles, and I think most D&D players haven't. Like generally, I'm just going to put challenges in front of players. I'll put traps in front of players. I'll put things where they can just make rolls as opposed to giving them actual riddles or things like that that they need to solve. Because I've run through this enough times, I know this almost always fails.
Yeah. It's like if the riddle is like a tactical thing, I'm good with it. But like the second you ask me a question, like it goes right over my head.
Yep.
Like I remember I messaged our gaming group today. I was like, "Hey, did you realize that Winston from Overwatch, since he's the dive tank, they gave him a scuba suit? It's only been 6 years since they gave that skin to him, and I just realized it now, 6 years later." Like,
Oh, I
yeah,
just now realized it. You messaged me earlier with that and I didn't understand it. Okay, so yeah, all right, because he's a dive tank.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, and that's about as smart as I am when it comes to like my job is solving complex algorithm problems and data issues on a regular basis. I can't solve a pun or a riddle on the D&D table to save my life. Like you know the Sphinx riddle, the very famous Sphinx riddle, right?
Maybe. Do you
What
know?
what 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 creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 3 in the evening?
Yeah, I've never heard this one, or probably have heard it and
It
just
is the
don't
most
know it.
famous riddle of all time beyond what is in my pocket.
Yeah, so I don't know the answer. What is it?
Human being. Because when they're a baby, they're on 4 legs, and when they're in the afternoon, they're walking on 2, and they're the elderly, they have a cane. Ha ha
Oh,
ha.
okay, I get it. But yeah,
Yeah, it's the
I've
riddle of
never
the
heard that one.
Sphinx.
Okay.
It's the most common. That was the riddle they gave as an example for the troll on the bridge today. But if if I'm on the table and you give me that exact riddle, like they just said, word for word, I'll be like, a Jigglypuff. I wouldn't know. I would just
Dragon.
blank.
Is it a dragon? Maybe it's a dragon. Is it a
Dragon.
dragon?
Dragon. But I'm not going to get it, and I don't know why. I don't know why puzzles just don't work in any capacity.
Yeah, I don't I really do think it's just people aren't trained to do riddles. There's certain techniques for processing information, and that is one of them. And I don't have it. I've never practiced it, and I don't think most of the people I hang out with have.
Um, do you know the show called 8 out of 10 Cats?
Never heard of it. It sounds
Okay.
amazing though because it's got cats in it, right?
No, it's called 8 out of 10 Cats. It's a British variety show with Jimmy Carr, where they kind of discuss like the current news and topics, and they ask a panel of two teams different questions. And it's like 8 out of 10 people said this is the best thing to do, or whatnot.
Okay, so it's kind of like Family Feud.
Yeah, kind of vaguely. It's a British show, British humor.
Yep.
There's another British show called Countdown, which is a 1 minute timer on a clock, and you have to basically solve mathematics problems or word problems. Like they give you a bunch of letters. What's the biggest word you can make from this? Here's a bunch of numbers. Get to number 875.
Okay.
And they're the current group. So 8 out of 10 Cats is the variety show, and Countdown's the other show. Well, there's a spin-off show called 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, where the comedians from 8 out of 10 Cats are now on the Countdown show trying to do serious math and serious word problems. And they got some really good comedians on there. They always have special guests. There's always like a team captain who's like a regular, and
Uh-huh.
then they usually have a guest on each side. And then there's two other main hostesses in this case, along with Jimmy Carr. One is her name is Susie Dent, and the other one is called Rachel Riley.
Okay.
Now Susie Dent has written all these books about words. She's got like 4 or 5 PhDs in languages and language topics and stuff like that. So like you give her like any series of like 10 letters, she knows what the best word is out of those things.
Sure.
And that's her job, is basically just to judge that section of the show. Well, Rachel Riley is this extremely hot chick who does the numbering part. Okay.
All right.
And she has like a doctorate or a master's from Harvard or something like that, or Oxford.
Yeah.
In mathematics. And so they always basically have like the series of numbers, and you have to get to like 625. And when your numbers are 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and 10. Figure it out.
Okay.
You have a
So
minute.
you have to figure out whether to times this, divide by that, et cetera, to get to that using this.
You can only use you can only use addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You can't do like factoring and whatnot. And you can search 8 out of 10 count any 8 out of 10 cats as countdown Rachel Riley and see like how fast she goes through and gets these answers. Like it's almost nearly immediate. And then everyone else who's like an adult person who can do basic math, it's
everyone else like us.
There's some comedians out there that are like, you have to use 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to get to 500. Go. And they'll look at it like, there was one where like the numbers were like 10, 6, 4, 3, 1, and 5. And they had to get up to like 101. And like no one could figure it out but Rachel Riley.
Yeah, who probably had it within 5 seconds.
Yeah. And there's very few times that she failed to get a number. And Jimmy Carr's, being Jimmy Carr's like, this is your one job, basic math.
You've got one job.
I feel like the contestants of the show, every time I give it a puzzle, like, you need to tell me which color is blue out of this rainbow. Red. No.
Yeah.
Point to the blue. Green. Ah, shit.
I never understood how people manage on Jeopardy. Like, I'm pretty knowledgeable about things, and I would do all right at Jeopardy, but some of these people, man, they know answers to questions that I haven't got a damn clue about. And it's just, like, you have to be, I don't know, very knowledgeable, I guess, to go on that show.
Maybe.
I guess. Anyway.
I honestly don't know. Like,
puzzles are usually a bad idea in D&D. Let's stick with that.
Yeah, never do puzzles.
Yes, because it's not going to go how you think. If you do puzzles, you have to be able to give hints, and when failure is certain, then you have to allow rolls.
So the category is jump around. The question is, you gotta do this slang term to mean you're leaving. It's also good to get one in the polls.
That's a Jeopardy question?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'd have
category
to see.
Is jump around.
Right.
The question is, you gotta do this slang term to mean you're leaving. It's also good to get one in the polls.
Oh, bounce. Haha.
Sorry, that's incorrect. You have to say, what is bounce?
What is bounce? What is bounce? Haha. Suck it, Trebek.
That's all I have for today.
Yep.
Who's going to sing us out, Panda or Bruce?
I don't know. Maybe both of them this time.
Yeah,
I've done that. I think we've done that before. We need to get Panda to record us another outro.
Yeah.
Need a new one.
All right, everybody, if you're listening to us, make sure to tune in tonight when we're playing some Divinity. We're going to be talking about the D&D Direct stuff, so definitely tune in for that. And go to Synergy, buy some cards.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Hey, Craig, I'm going to replace you.
Yeah. What was that guy's name? The Discord guy.
So long. The grumpiness has been your friend. Now go and spread anger through D&D. No, don't do that. Be happy, be friendly, be awesome, but maintain the boiling hate that inside your heart. I don't know, buddy. I'm rambling at this point. Shut me up and end this podcast.